So a few days back, I actually created a video which shows how you can search across the subtitles of all the videos on my YouTube channel. I have created a chat bot based on that, and in fact you can go to this page and you can interact with this bot and you can find out these videos. And then I thought that, well, I've already done all this work, so I might as well turn this into some kind of a searchable repository. So that's what I've actually done. I took the code that I wrote and added some more updates to it. I made some modifications, and now what I've created is actually a searchable GitHub repo which has the captions or the subtitles of my videos in my YouTube channel. Now, YouTube itself does not actually create subtitles for all the videos, and in fact, in some cases, it even generates subtitles in non-English languages. I'm not sure what's going on there, but for the most part, I do have these videos with subtitles, and except for the unlisted files, unlisted videos, which I've not included. So what you can do is you can go to this particular repo, and the first thing I'm going to show you is how you can use this to browse through the transcript of any given file. So I'm going to take something like this one, and what you see here is that, first of all, in the name of the file, it's a markdown file. You see that it has the date on which the video was published, which is, in this case, it's going to be April 9th, 2021, and then this is going to be the video title, and then of course the .md at the end represents markdown. And then if you scroll down, you'll see that you have this transcript in this sort of a format where I have every 30 seconds I have this the blurb which follows is just going to be sort of the heading of the paragraph, and then you can actually click on this link and it will jump directly to that point in the video. So you can see that you can skim through the video's content as you're on this particular markdown file, and then you can just take a look at what that video is talking about at that point in time, and then if you want, you can just jump directly to that point in the video. So if you were to open this in a new tab, you'll find that it has jumped to the point. You can read them as if they are trans. All right, so let's close that. Now, the other thing that you notice here is all these thumbnail images, and the thumbnail images have been mostly added for just making the text look a little better. It's not corresponding to the position in that video. Apparently, there was a time when YouTube used to make these thumbnail images match exactly the 25%, 50%, and 75% point of the video. Apparently, people started gaming it, which is what usually happens. So they now generate these thumbnails more or less at random points in the video. So even though I have these thumbnails, it's just to give a break between like a wall of text, just to make it look a little bit better. Okay, so that's the reason I have these thumbnails. And the very first thumbnail you see, if you click on it, it actually jumps to that video on YouTube. Okay, so that's the thing that you can see with respect to skimming the subtitles of a given video. At the top of that, I also just print out the description of the video right at the top. All right, so the other thing you can do is you can actually search in this repo for specific keywords. So it just works like usually how you see search work in GitHub, and you can see that the default is to use this particular repo. So if I were to click on it, you can see that there are 6 results, and you can just, by looking at the search result, you'll be able to see a few things. First of all, the name of the file tells you the publication, the video published date. So this was on April 2021, and this is February 2018, and this is August 2021. You can also see that there's a small highlight of the search term, and if I were to click through on that, you can say you'll be able to find the word chat base in this transcript somewhere. So there you see. So that's how the search feature works. And the other thing you can do is, because of the way I've named these markdown files, you can also do a file name search in GitHub. So you just put file name : and then you can add the whatever you're trying to search, And what that will do is it will only search in the file name itself. It will search for that word only in the file name. It will not search through the content. So this is a good way, for example, if you want to see all the videos which are published in 2020. So if you do that, you'll find that you can go directly to 2020. Okay, so that's the other thing. You can do a file name based search, which means that based on the markdown file's name. And of course, you can do the same thing if you want to search for other terms inside the file name. So for example, if you want to find out videos about Zoho that I've created, you can see that there's a whole bunch of them. And that's what I have when it comes to searching. And remember that all these things are possible by using GitHub's built-in search. So I didn't have to do anything special to enable this. All I had to do was make sure that I uploaded these in a markdown format, and GitHub took care of implementing this search for me. Okay, so why did I choose markdown? Actually, there are quite a few reasons. So the first one is that when you upload a markdown file which has this file extension .md, you notice that the GitHub is going to render it as actual HTML. So you can just upload it and you will find that whatever you see on your browser is rendered as HTML, which is of course nicely formatted and all that, and you can have these hyperlinks and all that. That's one thing, right? And the other thing is that if GitHub detects that you uploaded a markdown file, it will even generate this nice little table of contents based on the tags, whether it's the H1 or H2 or H3 and all that. So it will even produce a nice table of contents for it. Now, unfortunately, this is not wide enough for us to read the whole thing, but I think that's still not too bad. You do have this available for the longish sort of video transcripts. And that's one reason. And also, I actually talk about this in this article that I've written corresponding to this search I have built. And the other benefit that you have is that when you use Markdown, you can just edit the Markdown inside of any IDE like WebStorm or other integrated development environments. And of course, they have these nice you can just edit it in place and you'll see a preview of that. So you have this pane feature, and I think it's supported in pretty much all the IDEs today, where you can just edit the markdown on the left side and you can see that getting updated in real time on the right hand side, which is also rendered as proper HTML. So whatever you have, when you make changes here, it will get updated over here. Okay, so that's the big advantage of using Markdown. And probably the biggest advantage is that you can do a sort of a global find and replace of it's an auto-generated subtitle, which means that you are going to have a few typos and just general mistakes. And one of the things that I found is that whenever I use the word chat base, YouTube will always separate it out into two words, chat and base. And that means this search, when you do a search for chat base as a single word, that will not show up in the results. So what I did was I went into the IDE, in this case it's WebStorm, and it's all text, right? The Markdown is, and under the hood, Markdown is just text format. So what I did, I just do a global search and replace for the phrase chat base. I just replaced it with the single word chat base. And as soon as I did that, I went back and did another query on the repo, and you can see that you get more code results. Now, it does take a few seconds or maybe a few minutes. I guess I don't know how GitHub decides how often it does the indexing of these files. But what I can say is that it won't show up as soon as you upload it. It will take a few minutes for the search to work. That is with the extra results, because GitHub does take some time to index the files which are uploaded. And of course, the more files that you're uploading and more text those files contain, naturally it is going to take more time for it to complete the indexing. So that's the other thing. And I'll just also quickly add the huge benefit of doing this in Markdown format on GitHub, connected to my IDE, which means that I can easily do the source control for these files. And obviously the big advantage of doing that is that all I have to do is make these edits inside my IDE like WebStorm or whatever, and I can just check in those files, and those latest changes will reflect in the search results automatically without me having to do anything, because it's implicitly tied into the version control system. So that's my repo, and that's what I have. And in fact, I'll probably have to go and make a few more changes to these more complex words. In any case, this is the repo, and I'll just leave a link below the video, and you can go and check it out. And you can also let me know if you want to see some changes or some specific ways that you want me to update the GitHub repo so that it makes it easier for you to find videos on my YouTube channel.